of patients and visitors in bathrooms at the facility. If you're a patient or visitor of Northwell Health Sleep Disorder Center in the last 3 years and received a letter in the mail, you may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Call our law firm's Hidden Camera Abuse Helpline now. Northwell Hospital sent out a letter notifying those who may have been subjected to hidden spy cameras in the facility's bathrooms. If you were a patient of Northwell Sleep Disorder Center in Great Neck, Long Island in the last 3 years, you may be entitled to substantial cash compensation. Call now to get the justice, closure, and the financial settlement you deserve. But the deadline to file a claim may be close. Call our law firm's Hidden Camera Abuse Helpline now at 800-819-6421. Call 800-819-6421 now. 800-819-6421. 800-819-6421.
This is the Greg Kelly Show.
All right, we are back. Yeah, I think this Padilla thing is a moment of obviously what's happening overseas. Iran getting nailed. What am I going to do this weekend? What are you going to do? Aren't the weekends a beautiful thing? They really are, to a point. To a point. I just, I love my children so much. Oh, by the way, they already gave me my Father's Day stuff. Oh, gosh, number one Papa, stuff like that. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. When I say to a point, I don't know, sometimes I'm overwhelmed with the choices you have on a weekend, you know? And I feel like, okay, there's possibilities to do so much. I often feel guilty laying around. So I don't know. Sometimes I get in a weird way on the weekends, but I love them. All right. Hi, Joan. What's going on? Are you there? Hey, crazy or what? Is she there? Hello? Damn it. No, Joan. Line 2. Huh? Yeah. Speak up. Oh, shoot. Let's go to the rabbi. Rabbi Eli. Hello.
God bless Donald Jonathan Trump for his great work. And he's the new sheriff in town. He's bringing a new world order. Unfortunately, the Biden administration brought war and violence in American cities and fentanyl, but they also brought war all over the world. And they're responsible for this. They're responsible for October 7th. And Donald Jonathan Trump is bringing peace back to the world, both by supporting Israel diplomatically, by giving the directives that there must be peace in the world, no Iranian nuclear bombs, helping Israel militarily and in terms of intelligence, financially, all sorts of ways. And so I speak about him all the time in speeches and in some of my writings. I speak about him. And among Orthodox Jews, he's as popular as any politician has ever been.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and I love that relationship between Christian and Jews. I really do. It's a special one, as you know, and there's so much that brings us together. Excellent, Rabbi. Appreciate it. Louis, yes.
I have a prayer by George Washington. Can I read it? Hello?
Yeah.
Can I read it?
Sure.
Almighty God, we make our earnest prayer that thou will keep the United States in thy holy protection, that thou will incline the hearts of the citizens to cultivate a spirit of subordination and obedience to government, and entertain a brotherly affection and love for one another and their fellow citizens of the United States at large. And finally, thou will most graciously be pleased to dispose us to do justice, to love mercy, and demean ourselves with that charity, humility, and pacific temper of mind, which were the characteristics of our divine author of our blessed religion. Without a humble imitation of his example in these things, we can never hope to be a happy nation. Grant our supplication. In Jesus Christ, our Lord, amen.
All right, very beautiful. He squeezed all that in. Wow, that's he even prayed like a genius. Thank you very much, Louis. And now it's Barbara's turn. Hello, Barbara. So grateful to hear from you. What's going on?
Hi, Greg. Like everyone else, I'm watching what's going on, not only the riots in our country and the upheaval there, but of course what's going on with Israel now. And I was very touched when Netanyahu said we can't leave this situation to the next generation. that if we do not act, there will be no next generation. It's similar to what Thomas Paine said to Americans. He said, if there must be trouble, let it be in my day, that my child may have peace. And that's what we should all be praying for now. Peace for Israel, peace for the whole of Western civilization, which is under attack just as surely as Israel is under attack. The Judeo-Christian principles of our Western civilization support peace and prosperity for all. Will our children, and be sure that we are choosing right now by our defense of civilization, will our children and our grandchildren be governed by the rule of law with the consent of the governed, or by the dictates of a theocracy? And we see that theocracy in action, and we see the spillover of it in our college campuses, where students have no idea what they're talking about when they want to support these theocracies in these countries. They have no idea.
Ask them about keg parties, ask them about TikTok apps. They may know, they may have something to say, but the weighty issues of the world, no. And too many of them have chosen the wrong side. Barbara, thank you. Thank you all. Right? Long live Israel, and we'll see you soon.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News, first at 59 past the hour.
77 WABC.
With a mix of sun and clouds on this Friday. It's June 13th, and good afternoon. I'm James Flippin.
Breaking news, WABC.
Missiles are being fired over Tel Aviv and Israel as Iran is responding to Israeli airstrikes. President Trump has met with the National Security Council. As of today, several high-ranking Iranian military leaders were reportedly killed in the attacks.
Iranian state media reports General Hossein Salami was killed in an overnight strike, along with another IRGC general and multiple nuclear scientists. Israel said in a statement it launched a preemptive offensive against military and nuclear sites inside Iran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove the threat, while Israel's defense minister announced the country expects a retaliatory strike and a state of emergency has been declared. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says there was no U.S. involvement in the strikes against Iran. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And so it seems that retaliation has began. It was yesterday when Trump told Fox News he was aware of Israel's plans to strike before it happened. Meanwhile, Iran no longer planning to engage in nuclear talks with the U.S. Those talks were set to happen Sunday, but Iranian leaders and the Oman News Agency said talks have been suspended indefinitely. Here in the U.S., a federal judge is opting not to rule as to the legality of President Trump deploying Marines to Los Angeles following what's been a week worth of demonstrations and riots in response to immigration law enforcement.
On Thursday, U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer said he would not rule on the Marines because they are not out on the streets yet. Breyer ruled Trump's deployment of the California National Guard in L.A. violated the 10th Amendment and exceeded the president's statutory authority. An appeals court then decided to temporarily block the ruling, at least until a hearing on Tuesday. That means National Guard troops can stay in L.A. for now. I'm Daniel Martindale.
And here in New York, don't loot, don't be violent, don't block traffic. Those are the rules for No King's Day, the protests that are set to get going tomorrow. All of that, according to Mayor Eric Adams, as around the entire nation, protests are planned of an anti-Trump variety. The NYPD says it is prepared to keep protests safe. Here's Mayor Adams.
So do not come tomorrow to bring about any cause of problems. New Yorkers should be able to express their concerns without violence or spewing hate.
Meanwhile, last night, Mayor Adams, who's running as an independent in the upcoming November election for mayor, got a chance to check out the competition. The final Democratic mayoral primary debate was held. Early voting gets underway tomorrow. Social Security's cost of living adjustment could go up 2.5% in 2026.
That's what analysts are predicting, but that could change depending on what effect President Trump's sweeping global tariffs have on prices. The adjustment is calculated based on price and inflation data from July, August, and September. The increase could go up if those numbers do too. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
A funeral was held this morning for former Congressman Charles Rangel at St. Patrick's Cathedral here in Midtown Manhattan. Friends and family saying their final goodbyes after a series of public viewings that included his childhood parish and City Hall in Lower Manhattan. The Harlem native, known as the Lion of Lenox Ave, served in the House of Representatives for nearly 5 decades. He died at the age of 96 last month. Happy Friday the 13th. The day is associated with bad luck, though it's actually quite common. Last year, Friday the 13th came around twice. Next year, it's on the calendar 3 times. And no one knows for sure how the superstition started, but fear of the number 13 runs so deep in our culture that over 80% of high-rise buildings avoid having a 13th floor. And some hotels also refuse to have a room 13. Some airports don't have a gate 13. WABC News Time, 3:04, sports, weather, and Wall Street coming up next.
Coming up at 3:55 p.m., listen to Dominic Carter for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Dominic's final thoughts on 77 WABC.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This Sunday, from noon to 2 p.m., he's one of America's most prominent political consultants, pollster, and pundit, a best-selling author, and he's been called the most influential private citizen in America by Time magazine.
In politics, you're up, you're down, nothing is final or fatal.
He's Dick Morris, and this Sunday, from noon to 1 p.m., The Dick Morris Show, presented by the Patriot Gold Group, is on 77 WABC. 77 WABC News, continuing the tradition of delivering the best radio news. WABC.
77 WABC Chime Time 3:05 in sports. British soccer legend David Beckham is now Sir David. According to an announcement from Buckingham Palace, Beckham has received a knighthood from King Charles III for services to sport and charity. The award is the highest Britain's antiquated honors system can bestow. On Wall Street, stocks are taking a beating today. The Dow is down 850 points.
Oil prices are up 7%, but we're up 12%. The dollar's rallied in a rush to a safe haven. Gold is up 1%. Oil and defense stocks rose. Joe Connolly, 77 WABC News.
And this is in response to the geopolitical pressure after Israel and Iran traded airstrikes. From the 77 WABC Weather Center, today mostly cloudy skies, a high near 79, a light breeze, and then tonight a chance of rain. Rain becoming more likely approaching dawn, mostly cloudy overnight with a low near 62. Rain is in the forecast tomorrow. WABC News Time, 3:06. Dominic Carter coming your way next. 77 WABC degrees under a mix of sun and clouds in Midtown. I'm James Flippin. The news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
From New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And Father's Day is Sunday. It's coming up in 2 days, and so a happy Father's Day to all. And I guess perhaps I got an early Father's Day gift today. So I'm at the station, here at the station early this morning, to do an interview, article coming out on Monday, I believe, about, thanks to you folks, the enormous success of this hour and the very high ratings. So I'm at the station and I'm doing this interview, and so everything's good. And so I have a little bit of time before we hit the air at 3, and I run up to the Bronx to a rehab nursing home, the Pelham Bay section, to check on my aunt that raised me, my Aunt Inez. Everything goes well. She complains that I haven't been there in a few days. And then I leave, and I'm on the Bruckner Expressway. And I happen to see a highway NYPD unit off to the side. And the officer is outside his car, and he's just looking at the cars going by. I drive by, and I nod to the officer, and then I notice that he gets in the car. So here we go. Whoop, whoop. Pulls me over. License and registration. Officer, I have no idea where the registration is. Here's my license. The car is in my name. Sit right here, sir. Wait. So they always ask you, what did you do? Sir, officer, what did I do? You didn't have on a seatbelt. Busted. I didn't have on a seatbelt. Sitting here for a minute. I'm thinking he's writing me a ticket. And I'm stewing. I'm sitting there. But it's Father's Day weekend. So he comes back. He says, Mr. Carter, I'm going to cut you a break. No ticket. I'm like, thank you, officer. So now I know we should always have on our seatbelts, folks. I get it. But that's an early Father's Day gift to me from the NYPD. A number of topics we are dealing with this hour. Of course, additional Israeli strikes on Iran underway hours after the attack decimated the nuke sites. Military leadership, the IDF issues extreme alert as Iran launches more than 100 drones at Israel. They can be heard in Tel Aviv. This is in retaliation for striking the nuclear sites. And Israel has attacked, as we all know, Iran, calling it a declaration of war. The funeral for New York Congressman Charles Rangel at St. Patrick's Cathedral today. Another story that we are dealing with, the Democrats for mayor debated each other last night. And so we have a lot to get to. And tomorrow's the big parade for the Army, which coincides with President Trump's birthday. And you have got to hear this sheriff from Florida, in which he's warning protesters, you bring that garbage here and violate the law, we will kill you and notify your next of kin. You're going to hear this. There are times when someone says something and you're like, amen, amen, amen. You're going to hear that in just a second. Well, let's start with the situation as it relates to Israel. We all know, folks, you listen to this program, I am 1,000% in the corner of Israel, and I'm proud of it. And I want you to listen. This is a report on CNN. Dana Bash, President Trump called Dana Bash, discussing that all of Iran's negotiators that he was dealing with are dead.
But didn't say explicitly that the U.S. supported what Israel was doing. So that's how I started a very brief conversation. And he responded by saying, quote, we of course support Israel, obviously, and supported it like nobody has ever supported it. And then he went on to say this: Iran should have listened to me when I said, I gave them, I don't know if you know this, but I gave them a 60-day warning. And today is day 61. And then he said, they, meaning Iran, should now come to the table to make a deal before it's too late. And then he said something really noteworthy. He said, the people I was dealing with are dead, the hardliners. To which I just wanted to underscore. So what you're saying is Israel has now killed the people who you were dealing with. And he said very sarcastically, they didn't die of the flu. They didn't die of COVID. It was a brief conversation, but my takeaway was twofold. Number one, they are really hoping that instead of escalating the situation, which is what most people, terrific reporters and analysts you've been talking to all morning, believe is possible, even probable, he's hoping that instead of that, this forces Iran to come to the table. We'll see if that's going to happen. He also, he made clear he understands that it could escalate, but he is hoping now that Israel has done what it's done, that it takes another turn and de-escalates. We'll see.
It sounds like such an interesting conversation, though brief, and you hit on what seems to be emerging as one of the key questions here, especially based on what Secretary of State Marco Rubio said almost immediately after the attacks began, which was basically this was Israel acting unilaterally. It's one thing if President Trump says this morning that he supports Israel. It's another if he signed off, as it were, on the attacks yesterday, and it's still hard to tell where that line is, Dan.
He definitely, yeah. I mean, it's such a.
And that's from CNN. Every now and then, someone will say something that you wholeheartedly agree with. And this is it. First, let's open up the phone lines officially. Dominic Carter here with you, the Friday edition, 800-848-9222, 800-848-9222. Don't bring that garbage, that nonsense to Florida. Broward County Sheriff Wayne Ivey on the immigration protests. Now, we know tomorrow's the big Army parade celebration. Wonderful thing. Coincides with President Trump's birthday. I don't see anything wrong with that. Look at the enrollment numbers for the military. They are up substantially in almost every branch since Trump took office. But I want you to listen to this sheriff. A number of protests are planned throughout the country. And this sheriff says, you bring that garbage here and you don't respect the law, we will be notifying your next of kin where to pick up your body.
Peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. That's what our country is all about. The key word in that is peaceful. And if it's peaceful, us in law enforcement are going to make sure you have a safe environment to do it in. That's part of that process. If you let it turn violent, you do not want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. And just so there's no confusion, because I don't want to hear any whining later saying we didn't know, I'm going to break it down for you, all right? Because as you watch these riots unfold across the rest of the country, what you are seeing is buildings being burned down, police cars being bricked, having explosive devices thrown on them, having fire, guns pointed at them, bricks thrown at them, all and on. So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we're going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and then jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
Amen. Amen, Sheriff Wayne Ivey. Graveyard Day. Protesters. Nut jobs. I hope you heard that. Graveyard Dead. And if you dare spit on one of these great men or women of law enforcement, you're going to the hospital, as he said, and then to jail. Or they may turn the great dogs loose on you, and then you're going to jail. Bring that to New York City, Sheriff. I know you're in Florida, but we need that here in New York to deal with this nonsense, and certainly in Los Angeles. Oh, Los Angeles. You want to talk about how crazy the Democrats are there in Los Angeles? I'm not talking about the senator right now, Padilla, right? That just, oh, I'm a senator. You're nothing to identify you as a U.S. senator, and you're just going to attack verbally the Homeland Security Secretary and just do what you think, whatever you want to do. Sorry, the FBI told you they don't roll like that. You had to go to the ground. Sorry. I guess you'll understand protocol the next time. You're not a credited member of the news media, but the nut Democrats in LA. Well, Dominic, that's offensive. How could you say that? I want you to listen to this, folks. A LA city council member questioning the police commissioner, asking Commissioner Jim McDonald if they could get a heads up from the LAPD when an ICE operation is underway. Think about what I just said. A council member asking the LAPD if they could get a heads up from the LAPD when an ICE operation is underway.
To create a situation where your department can identify, hey, there's agents, non-city of LA, in a neighboring town. Everyone go on alert in a way where you can support our business community and our immigrant community to know that it's time. That's something related to the lack of due process, the lack of warrants is about to hit our town. I'm asking a creativity question here. What can your department do to do more to warn us, to warn the business community that outside of our LA borders, coming in from Inglewood, coming in from Antelope Valley, I don't know, you can warn us so that we can warn our folks in the spirit of your loyalty to the city of Los Angeles.
So you're asking me to warn you about an enforcement action being taken by another agency before it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Why not?
That would be obstruction of justice. You may want to talk to the city attorney about that.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
Folks, Sid Rosenberg here. You know, I'm not inspired by many people, but my close friend Scott Lobato, America's Artist, has a film about his 35-year patriotic career, and his story is simply amazing. The film, entitled The Relentless Patriot, will make you laugh, cry, and love your country more than you ever have. It's profoundly inspirational. So skip the next woke movie, watch The Relentless Patriot, streaming on Amazon Prime or Apple TV, a huge Sid Rosenberg fave. Sid Rosenberg here with big news. I'm going to Cyprus on June 22nd with my beautiful wife, Danielle, for our 33rd anniversary. We're going to the Cap St. George's Hotel and Resort. Beautiful beachside luxury, incredible restaurants, a world-class spa, even a nightclub. George's Ranch offers horse riding by the sea, which guests can arrange through Cap St. George's Hotel and Resort concierge team. Visit capstgeorges.com.
Rev up your engines and get ready to live life in the fast lane at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel with our $120,000 drawing. Earn entries all month long, then be here between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Friday, June 27th, when one winner will be drawn every hour to win between $5,000 and $20,000 cash. Then at 7 p.m., one winner will be drawn to win a 2025 BMW C4 plus $5,000 cash at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
The one and only Goya Adobo All-Purpose All-in-One Seasoning, perfect for all seasons. A simple shake is all it takes. Spring, elevate your veggies with a shake of its secret blend of Latin spices. Summer, step up your grilling game by shaking Adobo's bold flavor on your favorite proteins. Holiday season, shake some more and add some Latin magic to your favorite holiday roasts. Goya Adobo, your all-in-one seasoning for all seasons. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Ironclad Inc. seeks a software engineer in New York, New York. Work with and learn from a strong team of engineers that work cross-functionally to identify business problems and architect, build, and verify solutions. Master's degree or foreign equivalent and 1 year of experience. Salary is $135,000 to $150,000 per annum. Telecommuting an option. Some travel to Ironclad offices may be required. Submit resume with references to requisition number 22-131128 at attention Ironclad Inc. care of Jenna Vickers at online job postings at ironcladhq.com.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Cats and Pudding, hosted by Jen DeLandro.
I have such a great guest. I have the one and only Mario Bosco. Tell us about how you got started in becoming this wonderful comedian that you are.
I started in show business in 1987, The Cosby Show. Me and security, her name was Marie, we were like on first name basis. So she goes and gets Mr. Cosby, and he comes out, shakes my hand. So I show up the next Wednesday, and I'm in the bleacher area. Mr. Cosby comes in and goes, Mario! I go, hey, Mr. C, how are you? He goes, did you get your parents? Where's your parents? I go, you were serious about that? And he goes, weren't you? And I was like, yeah. So Ran, I was like, go, Mario, go get your parents, pick them where they are. I was going home in the payphone. And my mother's like, thank God my mother made the turn on Avenue M and East 14, and she went in and he changed my life.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. It's Boulevard Sundays with Sinatra, with your host, Joe Piscopo, this Sunday night starting at 6.
That's life. That's what all the people say. It's witchcraft. Yet I get a kick out of you.
It's Boulevard Sundays with Sinatra, this Sunday night starting at 6. With me, Joe Piscopo, on WABC. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. It wasn't until this journalist contacted us to do this follow-up. It's been a year since we've been doing the show with you. And I just want to say thank you, folks. I obviously want to say thank you to John and Margot Catsimatidis that put me in this position to have the faith in me. I cannot believe it's been a year that we've been with you since at 3 o'clock, but also the midnight hour, midnight to 1 a.m. And being here with you folks has been absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And again, I guess my Father's Day gift for this weekend was the fact, pulled over this morning, and I'm like, officer, what did I do? Sir, Mr. Carter, you don't have on your seatbelt. I didn't have on my seatbelt. Of course, by the time the officer got to the car, I had put on my seatbelt, but he had already visually observed me without the seatbelt. He goes back. I'm like, ugh. So when they go back to the car, the first thing I'm looking at is that they have paperwork in their hand, right? If they have paperwork, that means they just wrote you a ticket. I didn't see any paperwork. So I'm like, maybe it's my lucky day, my lucky day. Sure enough, Mr. Carter, I'm giving you a warning. Please be careful. Put on your seatbelt, Mr. Carter. Thank you, officer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go to your telephone calls. Line 3, Johnny in New Jersey. Johnny, what's on your mind?
Dominic, I love this Harris, man. Come on. How could you not love this guy from Brevard County? Oh, man, we need him up here in North Jersey.
How about New York City, L.A.?
Oh, my goodness. This guy's going to have lifetime like, he is the friggin'
Right, your line is breaking up there, Johnny, but I agree with you. What he had to say is so popular. We may replay it in a few minutes at the bottom of the hour. Let's go to line 4, Dino in Queens. Dino, first of all, what are you doing on this Friday? And then go ahead with your comment.
I'm with my kids right now. Say hello to Dominic Carter. Say hello, Dominic Carter.
Hello, children. Hi, how old are they, Dino? Hey, Dino, how old are your children?
They're 4 and 5.
4 and 5. And so they
4 and 5 years old. Yeah, I just picked them up from school.
Oh, fantastic. So wait, Dino, what are you doing for Father's Day?
I listen to you. They know I listen to you all the time.
Tell the kids we said hello. Dino, what are you doing for Father's Day?
Actually, I don't go no place. I stay home with the wife and the kids, and I enjoy my big backyard, and I just enjoy what I have because you got to be really careful in today's world, Dominic. That's why I love that sheriff. Sheriff.
Go ahead.
That's how it goes. You know, shoot first, ask questions later. We need law and order. I do want to ask Tom Holman, when is he coming to New York, Queens, Elmhurst? Because they're back out of the woodworks. They're doing things. I don't even have enough time on the radio to tell you what I see. It's disgusting. I'm tired. But yes, that's what happens. What he said is absolutely right. Like your last caller said, he loves them. I love him too. That man's going to have a job forever. And I like the example they did with Adela. I like that example. Adela, I don't care if he's a senator, congressman, whatever he is, you don't go and interrupt Christy Nolan while she's talking and play like you got 2 guns in your right side. You be a gentleman.
Hey, Dino, if he was just interrupting her, that would be one thing. That's not what provoked that response. What provoked it is you're actually moving towards the secretary. They don't know if you have guns. They have got to neutralize the threat. You have got to be taken to the ground, and you ask questions later. It really is that simple. Tell your kids to make sure you have a great Father's Day, Dino. Send our regards to your children. Time for a break. We're coming right back. 800-848-9222.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Donate now to toysfortots.org. Working year-round, delivering hope to children at Christmas time and beyond. In 2024, Toys for Tots provided over 30 million toys to nearly 13 million children in need. Donate now. Go to toysfortots.org. Since 1947, Toys for Tots has distributed 708 million toys to 314 million deserving children. Working year-round. Toys for Tots. Donate now. Go to toysfortots.org.
This is Positively Ernie. Now, here's Ernie Anastas.
I'm following stories in the news and what people are talking about with a positive viewpoint. You know, the recent major IT outage created chaos in government services and businesses all across the country. Now, why did it happen, and could it happen again? Matt Malone is a cyber expert. Hey, Matt, this was a nightmare, and it's become a matter of national security now.
Absolutely. This was it affected 8.5 million devices with $1 billion estimated cost. And it's really because of a simple patch or a system update that went wrong. But it also leads into our infrastructure and how vulnerable we are as a nation.
Absolutely. And should a single company, for example, in this case, CrowdStrike, should they have so much power?
Well, you know, this is kind of a mixed question because they have power, but also the companies are a little bit culpable in their technology stack as well.
What really needs to happen to ensure that this doesn't occur again?
Well, I think every CEO right now of a major corporation is realizing that this can happen. So if there's any silver lining here, it's that this could have been much, much worse. Had this been a national cyber attack, so if somebody would have gotten into CrowdStrike and purposely done this, we could be devastated for quite a while. So I think people are going to start paying attention to, maybe I need to put some money into infrastructure. You know, our road system, our things like that was built in the 50s. Our technology system was built in the 2000s, and it's old for technology.
Matt, I thank you so much for some very good information on cybersecurity and the future. I'm Ernie Anastas on 77 WABC with positive news you can use.
For
For more positivity, listen anytime. Download and subscribe to Positively Earning the Podcast. Go to WABCRadio.com and the 77 WABC app.
The views and opinions expressed by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the policies or positions of WABC Radio, its management, or its sponsors.
Coming up at 3:55 p.m., listen to Dominic Carter for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Dominic's Final Thoughts on 77 WABC.
Lunch was great. Greenwich Village is a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you alright?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scoring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
It's the 77 WABC minicast. You want it all.
I want it all. I want it all. I want it all.
And you can have it now.
I want it all.
It's the 77 WABC minicast.
I want it all.
Everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less.
I want it all.
Download and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I want it all.
In under 10 minutes.
I want it all.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we see your phone calls coming in on this Friday. Dominic Carter here with you. Father's Day on Sunday. So I see one of the calls, line 3, Edna from Athens, Greece. We're going to get to her in just a second. But we played that sheriff in Florida in which he's issuing a warning for protesters this weekend. The mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, also issuing a warning ahead of this weekend's massive anti-ICE protest with 15,000 to 30,000 expected to hit the streets. The mayor confirming outside agitators. This is what Mayor Eric Adams just had to say.
There were individuals who were part of taking over the Hamilton Hall that did not attend the school. Some of them were professionals. Folks, when you have 5,000 people on the street, all you need is 20 to be an outside agitator. You don't need 4,999. You have a small number of people that are professionals. We saw it during the Black Lives Matter situation when I met with former Mayor Bill de Blasio. They were training people to have glass bottles filled with ice, bricks, knapsacks, all of the tools that were used to aggravate. And so get out of your mind that an outside agitator must be the numerical majority of the people who are participating. Outside agitators go in, they rile up the crowd, they start throwing items at the police, they start doing things to get the police aggravated. They use fire bombs to burn cars. We saw that during the BLM movement. That's what the outside agitator is. And so whomever is saying there are no outside agitators coming in and they're professionals, Antifa and others, they just don't understand policing. You're not the majority. That's not your goal. You're not going there to be the majority. You're going there to hijack a movement so that you can aggravate and create disorder in the city. That's what an outside agitator. They were there on Columbia, and they're there at many of our marches. And so if you want to write a story about there are no outside agitators, feel free to do that. We're going to protect the people of this city based on intelligence, not rumors.
So it's going to be an interesting weekend all around the country. The parade for the Army tomorrow coinciding with President Trump's birthday. I think it's a wonderful thing. Look at enrollment in our military services. It's way up as opposed to under a previous president. I'll just say that. Obviously, President Biden. Have you noticed morale? I'm not talking about the people that are a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm talking about the majority of Americans that want good things, that the morale is up in the country, right? And so we played, you know what, before I get to that, Sheriff, because I want to play it again, let's take one or two of your calls. Let's go to Etna, calling from Athens, Greece. Good afternoon to you. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Dominic. I'm the crying grandmother from the Oxygen Bar in Nutley, New Jersey.
Oh, well, why does it say Athens, Greece here?
I am in Athens, Greece. I can't do without you.
Oh, isn't that nice of you to say?
You know,
Thank you.
I brought my grandbaby with me. She's doing well in school. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your encouragement. You are a wonderful man. But I can't do without you. So I'm finding you over here in Athens, Greece, and I am loving it. My granddaughter said, "You addicted to Dominic Carter." I said, "Yes, I am. I'm going to find wherever he goes." So we are in Athens, Greece right now, and I found you, and I love you, Dominic. And I'm coming back. And I'm going to turn New Jersey red. I'm turning New Jersey red all by myself. Well, I got people working with me. We're going red in Jersey this time. But I'm in Athens, Greece. I love you, and you've been such an inspiration for me. And you just put me at ease. You're such a great man. I love you. I love you. I love you.
So, well, thank you. The love. Well, wait a minute. Now, wait. So, how old is your granddaughter?
She is 19 now. She's here with me in Greece.
Oh, so she's not. I'm thinking of a young child. She's a grown woman.
Yeah, but we've been together since 4 years old, since birth. Since birth.
Right. Wow. Well, I think it's wonderful what you're doing with your granddaughter, and you've stood by her, and you know that I was raised by my grandmother, so you know that what you're doing means the world to me. And for years of my life, Father's Day meant absolutely nothing, which was embarrassing in itself. And so I've learned to adjust. And, you know, my aunt, who I just visited in the nursing home today, I used to say, "How come I don't have a father?" And she would say, "Oh, boy, shut up. I'm your mother and your father." And I would go, "Okay." And so I guess, Edna, I see you in that regard. Is that fair to say?
You know, I cried so much, and you helped me so much that day. I was crying and crying and crying. You just gave me the strength, and I read your book, and you mean everything to me. You mean everything to me. I'm going to start crying yet.
No, don't cry. But wait, how do you end up in Athens? That's the question. I mean, that's Carlos' territory, who's on the board right now. And this guy, you got to see him. Like, he'll walk by and he just starts talking. I have no idea what he's saying, but it sounds very sexy. So how do you end up in Athens?
Well, a lot of people here, they do speak English. Just a few that does not speak English. But beautiful people. They're very helpful, like Carlos is. Very helpful, very nice, and very kind. So I ended up here because she did good with school. So I said, okay, let's go to Greece. You know, before I was going to take her to Spain, but she didn't get a break from school, so she couldn't get out of school, so then we changed it to Greece. So I said, she's out of school, you did good in work, let grandma take you to Greece. So that's how I wound up in Greece, and I'm coming back.
Wow.
I'll be back.
Well, let me just say this, and it sounds unorthodox, but it is a reality. Mother's Day was last month, but Sunday is Father's Day. And in the lives of many children, myself included, females in their lives, just like Etna, happen to be the mother figure and the father figure. I know it sounds unorthodox, but Etna, my final comment with you, it's a reality, correct?
It's a reality and it's real, honey. You got to do it all the all. You cried. When I met you, I was crying so hard that day. I couldn't get myself together, But now, it's like waves, with situations like waves. You cry and you calm down. You cry some more. It's not easy. I just tell you, it's not easy. And by the way, your aunt is on life support right now.
Yes, the ventilator is removed. It appears she's on the road to recovery. It's a long road, a long process, and it's a bit hard to look at because this woman was always the strength in my life. And now she's in a position where she desperately needs me and others. And so, but Edna, I want to thank you for the love. I want to thank you for what you're doing for your granddaughter. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. And spread the message in Athens. We appreciate it. You got the final word quickly, Edna. Go ahead.
Dominic, you're the best. You helped me so much just hearing your voice. I have to hear you every day. And the second show when you come on, it's like 6 in the morning here, because we're 7 hours ahead of time. It was 6 in the morning here, 7 o'clock. And I'm like sleeping, but I had to catch you today. I went to the bazaar, and I came. I said, I gotta get in there for Dominique. I gotta get in there for Dominique. So I'm so happy to you just make me, you just give me so much strength and encouragement with everything, even with the election. Everything you say comes out to be the truth. So wherever I go, I have to follow you. I don't care where it is. My granddaughter said, you're addicted, Mama. You're addicted to Dominique. I said, you got that right.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you enjoy Athens, and you deserve all the accolades. And even if you don't get the accolades, just know your heart is in the right place and you've done the right thing. Etna, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Christine, line 1, Staten Island, New York. What's on your mind, Christine?
Hi, Dominic. I just wanted to say that Eric Adams is definitely trying to score points and appear strong on the migrant issue. My husband, who's a postal worker who sees a lot, saw something today that he's never seen before, and that was a large-scale operation by Department of Sanitation involving a large truck and several satellite vehicles that were going around collecting and seizing, confiscating materials from the migrant women who go on site, outside the construction sites with the food to feed the migrant men working. They were bringing back everything, new coolers, expensive coolers, hand trucks, the food itself. It was like siege warfare. I guess if you starve the people out or take away their livelihood, maybe they'll self-deport is the thinking. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know.
Wait, Christine, let me ask you this. With all due respect, why should we care about that?
I just because it seems relevant that it's happening the day after the mayoral, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay, it's okay. But what I'm trying to say, Christine, what about those of us that say they shouldn't be here to begin with?
Well, agreed, but I just wanted to just give you this little tidbit of information that it seemed like he's reading Lao Tzu, The Art of Warfare, and trying to do siege warfare. So,
I hear you, Christine. Thank you for the call. Hey, Christine, are you married?
I am. My husband is a postal worker, as I was saying.
Oh, he did say that. And do you have children?
No.
Okay, so you're not celebrating Father's Day with him because he's not a dad, correct?
I lost my father 5 years ago, so.
Oh, no. I'm sorry to hear that.
But I do wish you a happy Father's Day. I mean, I agree. I don't think that the people should be sucking off of the rest of society who's contributed for all these years, tax paying, Social Security. People come in, they know how to build the system. It's not fair. It's not right, and I was appalled to hear Governor Hochul yesterday when she was called on the carpet by Elise Stefanik. They can't even give a number. Pritzker either. They can't even give a number of what monies are going where. So I think there's a lot of palms being greased,
Christine, thank you for the call. Thank you very much. Folks, to Christine's point, now maybe I've just become hardened and cold. So every day, I'm not going to say where, but every day when I'm walking to my car, I have to walk past a woman that's sitting on the floor, and she has like a little toddler baby. She's obviously an illegal, and she has a sign asking for money. And I guess people feel bad for her, and they give her money. And I'm trying to figure out within myself, I wouldn't give her a dime. And I don't know, it's just like when I heard that Michael Jordan doesn't give money to help the homeless, like when he's on the street, I was like, ill, and it turned me off. But in this regard, I'm the same exact way. And like I don't understand why I First Amendment right. These loud music playing instruments on the subway. Why do I want to listen to that garbage? You're standing there playing Spanish music, God knows what music. It's you may be entertaining, but I wanna ride the train and I wanna have a little peace. So like for example, my family, I was asked, what do you want for Father's Day? My daughter driving me crazy. What do you want for Father's Day? Dad, what do you want for Father's Day? So I finally say, I want you, your mom, and your brother to cook on the griddle that I have outdoors. Well, I don't have much time to be there. And then it's like, well, then why ask me? So you know what I want for Father's Day? I don't know about the rest of you dads out there. I just want 4 hours, 4 hours of peace, meaning no family member bothering me for anything. Don't ask me to do this. Don't ask me to do that. Remember, I work Sunday night, Father's Day night, so just let me have my moment in the sun, literally. When I'm home, I don't really get in the pool. It sounds weird, folks. You have a pool. The only thing I like to see about the pool is the waves going nonstop, and it looks really pretty. But the water's too cold for me. I don't want to have the heater on all the time. And it's like once you have it, it's like, leave me. Okay, it's there. I know it sounds weird. I see all your calls coming in. I'm late for a break. I'm all over the place. It's Friday, but at least we've got a beautiful day, right? 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
It's Dominic Carter.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Building Bridges, That Which Unites Us, a thought-provoking new podcast series hosted by Michael Hirschman, CEO of Solaviev Group.
I'm Michael Hirschman. Join me as I tackle vital national topics that affect the man on the street to the executive suite with unscripted, authentic perspectives that spark in-depth discussions with experts in the field.
Go to buildingbridges.nyc to watch episodes or download wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
With cousin Brucey.
Hey,
cousins. It's the Saturday night rock and roll party with me. I'm your cousin Brucey. Tomorrow is the day on the air at 6 o'clock, right here on Music Radio 77 WABC. You can also hear Cousin Brucey on WABCRadio.com.
Kick off the summer with the sure way to have fun. Play the new Sure Thing scratch-offs from the New Jersey Lottery. It's 3 unique scenes celebrating the beach, eats, and nightlife of the Jersey Shore with a top prize of $500,000. Play today. Anything can happen in Jersey.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
In New York City, we entertain you. So plan your weekend with music and us.
Coming up this week on the Saturday Night Rock and Roll Party.
This week, Brucey remembers Brian Wilson and Sly Stone.
Plus, Brucey talks to Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge and Kenny Nolan.
Hey, Joe Biscuit for Boulevard Sundays with Sinatra. So excited. It's Father's Day this weekend, and we're celebrating Father's Day in a big way with Francis Albert Sinatra.
This week on the Vinny Meduno Show, we spotlight 1966. And this weekend, in honor of Father's Day, we're honoring Dad.
Coming up on Saturday Nights with Tony Orlando.
Join us this Saturday night. We have our Father's Day show because, of course, Sunday is Father's Day.
Your weekend fun never ends on Saturday, Sunday, WABC.
And now, it's time for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Final Thoughts.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day is this. I hope that President Trump, tomorrow, the parade for the Army should be a smashing success, coinciding with his birthday. We'll see how it turns out with all these protests planned. But newsflash, if you think you're going to interrupt Trump's gathering, good luck with that. I want to close in just a second with what Tim Walz on Capitol Hill yesterday, Governor Dum Dum. But first, let's go back to some more of your calls, time permitting. I'll get to that. Line 4, Pamela in New Jersey. Pamela, what's on your mind?
Good afternoon and happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. So, hey, Pamela, do you have kids? I know you're married, but do you have kids?
No, I don't, but
Okay.
I have nieces and nephews, and yeah.
Okay, so what's your family doing for those dads?
Well, like you, we hope for just a peaceful day. Hopefully.
Okay, fair enough.
In every
That's
way.
all I want, Pamela. That's all because I have to work Sunday night. Just give me 5 hours with no drama. None. Just leave me alone for 5 hours. And let me do what I want to do. If I want to play with my cat, if I want to play with Ricky the turtle, if I want to play with my parakeet, just leave me alone for 5 hours. Go ahead, Pamela.
That's a great gift. After Mamdani and Cuomo, Eric Adams is looking real good to me.
Really? Unfortunately, he doesn't have a much of a chance in hell. But you think that he's not looking too bad these days?
Really sounds like, people can change, and I think he's been humbled, and he's coming out with good stuff, and we need that, just a steady, stable person who's come to be humbled, and, forget about the past. He seems to be changed. We don't want any radical ideas.
Right, I agree with you on that. But so what happens in November? He'll be running. Mr. Sliwa will be running. The winner of the Democratic primary will be running. The problem for Eric Adams is that the Democrat is not going to be next to his name. So what happens?
I know the machine isn't behind him, but that can change. That can really change because, people realize that these other people, the one is responsible for all the laws we have now in New York, and the other one wants to revolutionize those laws and make them worse. So if it were me, I would go with Eric Adams if I were a Democrat, and somebody who's going to stabilize. He's been saying some good stuff about the rioting and everything, and And, he sounds like he sounds humble. He's not the same swagger guy that he used to be.
Well, thank you, Pamela, for the wonderful call. And let's go to line one, Donna in Garden City. Donna, what's on your mind?
Hi. I'm calling about, you had a call in yesterday about the son went to a concert at Jones Beach Theater, and when they got out of the concert, they had unrest against Trump. And I'm thinking someone should have contacted Bruce Blakeman. He would never tolerate that. And he would definitely have a policeman there just to monitor any unrest.
The county executive Blakeman is no joke, and Donna, you're correct. He would not tolerate that. It was the Dave Matthews Band, and what she was saying is that towards the end of the show, that it was against Trump, But you're correct. He would never, ever, ever tolerate that. The county executive, Bruce Blakeman. Thank you, Donna, for the wonderful call. So I want to conclude with Governor Dum Dum, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. What is he hoping for tomorrow? Listen to this loser. So Trump's parade for the Army and his birthday, Governor Dum Dum says he hopes that it rains.
I'm just going to say it as someone who, proud of military service, understands the importance of it, but understands they serve us. And whenever I come out here, I take great joy in running my mall route and down around the monuments or whatever, and it was horrific down there today. I'm just going to tell you, just looks wrong, feels wrong. And so I think I'm going to go be with a few thousand folks who kind of have the tradition that there's a separation there, that we don't need this. And this is not Pyongyang on a Saturday. So I'm just going to confess to it. I don't might get me in trouble, whatever. I have never so hoped for rain in my life. So, there you go.
Oh, Governor Dum Dum, you're just so smart, so articulate. You're so smart that you were on a ticket that lost every battleground state. You're so smart that all the lies you've told throughout the years, you were caught red-handed. Folks, all it takes is $11 a month. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. James Carey joined the United States Marine Corps after being inspired by his grandfather, who also served our nation. James loved being a Marine, but his life would change forever. During a training exercise, James lost consciousness and nearly drowned. The incident resulted in brain injury that left James blind and unable to use his body, susceptible to memory loss, and it even brought on dementia. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation built James a specifically adapted smart home to enable him to live more independently. Thanks to the generosity of friends like you, the lives of America's heroes and their families are being improved. James Carey and so many other service members and first responders have paid a high price, keeping our country and our community safe. Through Tunnel to Towers, friends like you have said thank you, not only through words, but through actions. America's heroes need your help now more than ever. Help heroes like James and their families. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour.
77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News, 59 past the hour. It's 80 and partly sunny on this Friday the 13th. Good afternoon. I'm Liz Radabali.
Breaking news, WABC.
The IDF says missiles from Iran have been launched towards Israel. Around half a dozen injuries were reported. This is the latest escalation in the conflict over Iran's nuclear program. The Israeli military says it had intelligence that Iran's nuclear program was reaching the point of no return. Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Leiter, said Iran left them no choice but to act.
90 years ago, when somebody stood up and said he's going to annihilate the Jewish people, we didn't have an army. We didn't have a state. We had nobody to defend us, and we ended up with 6 million dead. This is what the new Hitler in Tehran wants to accomplish.
Israel on Thursday launched what it called a preemptive strike on Iran, reportedly against military and nuclear sites. An Israeli army spokesman said Iran was rushing toward a nuclear bomb and that their goal is to eliminate the threat. Law enforcement across New York is preparing for a nationwide No King's Day protest. At least half a dozen No Kings demonstrations are set to take place across the city, including a rally at Columbia University. Here's Mayor Eric Adams on the security preparation.
New Yorkers may have different emotions right now, and they have a right to express that. But we want to be clear. You do not have a right to engage in violence and lawlessness. Any escalation of protests that turn violent or results in property damage is unacceptable, and it won't be tolerated if it is attempted in our city.
Organizers say the day of action is in response to President Trump's policies. NYPD officials say there is a heightened threat environment right now due to events around the nation, including continued chaos in California and, of course, abroad. The CIA is releasing dozens of additional documents in connection to the 1968 assassination of former Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Tammy Trujillo reports.
It marks the third release of declassified papers after earlier batches were released in April and May. President Trump signed an executive order in January calling for the publication of remaining classified documents concerning Kennedy's assassination, as well as those of former President John F. Kennedy and civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. The extent of how much new information, if any, the documents reveal isn't immediately clear. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Democrats in the Big Apple are choosing their candidate for city mayor as early voting gets underway. Some New Yorkers plan on hitting the polls this weekend.
I know who I'm gonna leave off the ranks and who I'm gonna be on the ranks.
I'm all set, baby. This is not a rocket science. You have two choices here, vote or don't vote. If you vote, you have the right to make change. If you don't vote, shame on you. Don't complain, and don't complain about the changes.
New Yorkers have under 2 weeks to take part in early voting, with polls open every day until next Sunday, June 22nd. Voters will be allowed to rank their top 5 candidates. By the time primary day ends on June 24th, voters will shrink the pool of candidates from 9 to 1. Friends, family, and longtime colleagues are saying their final goodbyes to former Congressman Charles Rangel. Former President Bill Clinton and more than 20 current and former members of Congress were among the mourners at St. Patrick's Cathedral, honoring the life of former Congressman Rangel.
He's a warrior for justice and such a proud son of Harlem.
A steadfast ally, and it's been said, one of the most effective members ever to serve in the Congress.
What a life that he lived. What a leader. What a legacy.
The Harlem native, known as the Lion of Lenox Avenue, who served in the House of Reps for nearly 5 decades, died at the age of 96 last month. Todd Chrisley of Chrisley Knows Best fame is back on social media for the first time since getting out of prison. Michael Castner reports.
What is that? Grapes and cheese? Reality TV star and his wife Julie were sent to prison back in 2022 for conspiring to defraud banks. Last month, President Trump gave them both full pardons. On Thursday, Todd Chrisley was back on Instagram to celebrate his youngest son, Grayson, making the Dean's List at the University of Alabama. The Chrisleys are expected to return to reality TV this year with a docuseries on the Lifetime Network. You need to get back to what you know, things that you enjoy. I'm Michael Kastner.